flour, baking soda, cinnamon, butter, brown sugar, granulated sugar, eggs, vanilla extract, rolled oats, and raisins. First, we're going to combine our dry ingredients, which are flour, baking soda, and cinnamon. Let's whisk that together, and then we'll move on to our fat. Next, we're going to beat our butter. Usually the creaming method is used to make cookies, and that's what we're going to be doing today. The creaming method involves creaming the butter with the sugar first before adding anything else. I'm going to beat the butter by itself a little bit before I add the sugar. I'm actually using two types of sugar, granulated and brown. I use both because the brown sugar gives the cookies a nice molasses flavor. We're not using all brown sugar because that would prohibit the cookies from spreading. We need the perfect balance of both. I'm adding the white sugar first and then the brown sugar. Continue to beat this mixture for a pretty long time. We want the sugar mostly dissolved into the butter. Don't forget to scrape the bowl down every now and then. Okay, now that the sugar is all mixed in, we are going to add our eggs one by one. The butter can only absorb so much liquid at a time, so make sure not to rush this process. Also add the vanilla. Give the bowl one last scrape. And now we're moving on. Next, we're going to prep our raisins. I'm using the brand Sun-Maid, however you can use whatever you'd normally eat. Here's a little trick I use to keep the raisins plump and juicy throughout the baking process. I like to boil some hot water and then soak the raisins in it. Go ahead and pour the hot water into a large bowl. Then let the raisins sit in the hot water for about 8 minutes or so. After that, I'd like to drain the water out. Now let's get back to the dough. Add your dry ingredients to the butter mixture in rounds so that you don't make too much of a mess. For the last batch of dry ingredients, I actually switched to my trusty spatula just because A, we all need a workout here in quarantine, and B, I would have to scrape all the dough off the beaters in my hand mixer if I used it. Okay, now it's time to mix in our oats. I actually ended up using a little bit more than 3 cups, but the amount of oats and raisins really are just preferential. If you would like to have some cookies with raisins and some without, like I do, you can split the dough now. After draining my raisins, I'm going to add it into my other bowl. Some other mix-ins include chocolate chips and dried cranberries. Once your raisins are distributed evenly throughout the dough, chill it for about half an hour. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I have a sheet pan lined with parchment paper, and I'm going to scoop my balls of dough into my hand, and then I like to roll them into uniform balls. Don't worry about flattening them out because they'll do that naturally in the oven. Make sure to keep them at least 2.5 inches apart. So I'm just going to keep rolling these out until I'm done. I'll also repeat this process with the other raisin-free batch.